Yeah, I'm doing good, Terry. Big up to you guys. But first of all, I want to speak about the useless, trash, garbage piece of crap, Malang Sarr. He shouldn't even be a football player. He should be an Olympic wrestler or a WWE wrestler because the guy, how did he make it as a footballer? You tell me, because the guy looks like he weighs. I'm not gonna go into his weight, but the guy just doesn't know how to play football properly. And he, I looked back at second goal, and he wasn't even in the box when it happened. When the Connor Cody happened, I look back. Malang Sarr was not even in the damn box. So that just tells me, Tuchel, what the heck? Why would you bring him on? You have Chalobah on the bench who's taller than him, and you can play on the right side where the goal actually came from. I don't understand this. And the second thing is, the title of the show should be Lukaku is world class, and he proved himself again. Because listen, Gem and David, the two biggest Lukaku haters, you guys muddied yourself. It's funny you're not talking about him. Look at those two goals. You see that second goal? He's world class. I told you. No. I told you, Lukaku. He's got to give him time.
What two goals? When's the last time he scored a goal?
What month
Next week? No.
What month are we in?
I told you give him a year. I told you to give him a year. That's all I said. Give him a year.
How much cost?
Guys, sorry. I want to ask you a question, Nathaniel. I saw a journalist say that Lukaku has now just become Chelsea's joint top goal scorer on 13, his first league goals of 2022. But what he essentially said is that the reason that he hasn't scored more is he hasn't been given the time this calendar year. Do you think it's wrong that Tuchel hasn't played him as much?
Of course it's wrong that Tuchel hasn't played him. Tuchel's at fault. He's 100% at fault for this because he's not played to his system. Lukaku even said at the start of the season, the system isn't right for me. So Tuchel's at fault for being lazy and not actually changing the system to suit his £100 million striker. So of course it's Tuchel's fault. He's making Lukaku look bad. Of course the interview didn't help, but it is what it is. You've got to just move on. But Tuchel didn't move on. He took it personally, the interview. He didn't move on properly. And now he's made Lukaku look bad. And we saw this game today that if you bring Lukaku and you put him in, he scores. He scores the goals that we need. And obviously the trash defense didn't help, but we need new transfers for the defense.
There we go. Nathaniel, really appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. Top, man. What are you saying, Matt?
I'm just down here for a minute or two. It's just, pass over. Be up Jem, be up David. I mean, you guys obviously discussed the majority of pretty much. I missed it, but, obviously you guys are upset as well. Where do we start, man? Jesus Christ. I don't know. For me, it's the mentality. It's the mentality of the players. We've seen this a lot. We've seen that. We can see one, 30 seconds later, we can see another one because we don't have a real leader on that pitch. There's no communication. There's no leadership. There's no mentality qualities to get us lifted up and get us to keep driving for another goal. Instead, we just put our heads down and they just come in and they get another goal. There's no leadership whatsoever. Our midfield's all over the place. I said before the game, this is going to be critical with no Jorginho on this match. And when Loftus claps men's cheeks is in that midfield, he defines a shitty midfielder because he was horrific. Kovacic as well. Kovacic gets absolutely lost when Loftus-Cheek is next to him because he doesn't know what to do. Because, again, Loftus-Cheek is running like a headless chicken. Our attack got very cocky. We saw Pulisic and Werner just doing too much dribbles, not releasing early enough, going to the corner. The only positive we can look at that is Lukaku got a brace, good on him. An exception to the rule doesn't make the rule. We can't be looking at this and being like, yeah, sign contract. This is Lukaku, blah, blah, blah. Let's see how it is, play it out. I'm gonna say, man, I don't know, man. What's Mendy doing, man? Come on.
I was gonna ask you because you've been calling Mendy out for weeks and getting stick for it, and it appears more Chelsea fans are now coming round to your way of thinking.
No, I mean, I'm just putting him in the spotlight like we should be doing to every other single player. Mendy was a part of the mistake. He not individually made the mistake. He was part of the mistake, and a lot of fans don't understand that. Yes, obviously we got the other people on bench, or some say they're not good enough, whatever. But we just got to acknowledge the point that he is part of the mistakes we made. First goal, if Kepa was on that pitch, we would be saying Mendy would have saved that. For me, no keeper would have saved that. That was a fantastic shot, Junker. Absolute class shot. No one would have saved that. Second goal, I could have seen something, but again, I'm not going to individually blame him. He made that one save against Hwang beforehand. I mean, Hwang, it was a shit shot. He was a bit loose, but it was a great save. But then we've got to look at that save, and then we've got to also look at the second goal where he made that mistake. He could have possibly got a hand to it. He put his knee up. He didn't come out of the box. It's done. What we can say. But all we can look at is just look at the both sides. We never look at both sides for Mendy. We just look at it. He made it one good save. Oh, he'll stuff up a pass, but that's all right. It didn't make a goal. Didn't go to a goal. But then when you make a shitty save, we didn't really call it out because we've got worse options on the bench.
Matt, do you know what I just heard from your mouth? All I heard is what you say, and it's just a sure agenda. Mendy. It was Mendy. It was Mendy, and then it was Ruben Loftus-Cheek. They are the two players that you hate the most at the moment. Yes, it is.
I was going to go. I wrote notes. I said Loftus-Cheek flew fantastic. First 30 minutes. Let me just point Loftus-Cheek.
One second, right? Ruben Loftus-Cheek, right, is not a 6. I don't know why Tuchel plays him there. I don't get it. At the 2, I'd rather Kovacic play them more deeper. When Ruben Loftus-Cheek plays, he has to be played as an 8. I agree with what Terry says in terms of, the profile of player and what he is. Like, he looks good on the eye, but in theory, he just deceives you when he's on the pitch because he's not as good as we think. But I feel we just use him in the wrong way. And hence, when you ask him to play a deeper role and ask him to be a defensively aware, he's not a defensively aware midfielder. That wasn't his game. He's never been a 6. So like these are things like where I agreed that he didn't have a good game. I also don't think he had a completely atrocious game. I just thought we lost legs in the midfield completely in the second half. And Kovacic and him both got caught. But you have Jorginho on that pitch. And I know you talk about Cal. Later on in that game, if Jorginho's still on that pitch at that tempo of the way the second half was played, I guarantee the same issue would have occurred because we were getting overrun completely, and that's an issue. We do need a solid DM, and we haven't got that. We don't need one. We need one, big signing like a Tchouameni, maybe a Rice if that's what people want. But we also need backup there. We can't just be bringing in one. We need to start looking. Our scouting team needs to start doing their job and bringing players for backup in that position as well.
No, we need new scouts. I think we need to completely reevaluate the way we scout our players because clearly this club is really bad at scouting strikers. Like, completely different issue, but like they're really bad at scouting strikers and they're really bad at scouting like actual defensive midfielders.
Anyone in general.
Clearly, there's like a problem in the process somewhere. How many signings do we actually make? Where like we make that signing and what we expect of that player actually comes to fruition. Because very rarely it actually happens. Like Werner last year, we brought him in because we were like, oh, this guy's going to be main goal scorer, 20, 25 league goals a season. He came in and he got more assists than he did goals.
Yeah, David, that's the thing.
And then Lukaku came in and we were like, oh, main goal scorer, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. What Matt's saying isn't wrong, but what Jem's saying is right in terms of you're homing in on 2 individuals. The whole collective scouting is poor. That's why people saying Abramovich leaving could be bittersweet because hopefully a new recruitment setup will get put in place.
Rudiger was poor today.
He's done. But wait, I'll just say this and then I'm going to leave just quickly. I'll say the reason I don't target these 2 players, I just point them out because no one ever points them out. No one criticizes Mendy. No one criticizes
Mendy's been.
You guys just focus on these other players. These other focus are what Loftus. I said for the first 30 minutes, Loftus was fantastic. He was fantastic, and then he just declined. But the reason I'm pointing these players out because no one points it out. And I keep saying it week in, week out. I keep saying the problems that they do, and then they come on that pitch and prove my point. And I love when my point gets proven. I hope he doesn't prove my point, but I'm saying there's other players as well. Saul, wasn't even there. Pulisic was like everyone was shit, but I'm gonna focus on the 2 players no one else mentions. But anyway, it's 2:40 a.m. I'm heading out.
I appreciate you coming on. I know it's very, very late. We'll chat to you again soon. Top man.